On October 27th, 2017, Air Berlin ceased all operations, but this has not demised the popularity of the brand, far from it. And this Airbus A321 is just one of quite a few Air Berlin aircraft models in my fleet that I haven't reviewed to date, so I thought, why not change that? So with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A321-200 of Air Berlin. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of the box we have the airberlin.com branding. Then on the back side of the box we have a lovely image of the aircraft in real life, and we are provided with a web link by Herpa Wings where we supposedly can get more information about the aircraft model, but this web link does not work anymore. And here she is, the Airbus A321-200 in the, last official standard livery of Air Berlin. Of course, there was actually a new livery that was supposed to be introduced, but that never happened given that the airline went bankrupt. And at that time, the A321-200 was the largest single-aisle aircraft in the Air Berlin fleet. Now, this aircraft model was made back in the day from Herpa Wings in 2015 to be precise. So let's see what Herpa came up with back then and see if the model is still worth our money and time. And the best way to do so is by simply taking a closer look at the aircraft model, starting off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the Air Berlin branding. On the fuselage we then have the full registration code of the aircraft and the German flag. Towards the very tail of the aircraft we then also have a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then find the writing of Air Berlin. Next to the front cabin door we then find the One World logo, of which Air Berlin was a full member, and above that we find another little logo which indicated the close collaboration between Air Berlin and Etihad Airways. And when I say close collaboration, I mean basically Etihad Airways paid Air Berlin to stay in the air until they decided not to do anymore, and then Air Berlin went bankrupt. And I have time to tell you all this because there are no other relevant details to be mentioned here, and the same goes for the cockpit section itself, which simply has the cockpit windows and the window wipers, and that's it. But at least we have a cockpit section that is somewhat resembling that of an A321, unlike aircraft models from Herpa Wings in 2023. Alright, then let's move on to the engine nacelles. They have been kept in the Air Berlin red color and have the silver leading edge printed on, as well as the airberlin.com branding, but no other markings or any other relevant details have been printed onto the engines here, unfortunately, but that was the standard back in the day. The physical detailing overall I think is still pretty alright, especially here from the front where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. And that leads us to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side, where we have the different flap slats and spoilers carved out very nicely, and we have some different shades of grey for additional detailing. Also, the underside of the wings offers us a nice level of physical detailing, and of course the wings also have winglets with the Air Berlin branding printed on, which I think Herpa has executed rather well. And then we should take a quick look at the landing gear of the model, which is the standard landing gear that Herpa used to use on the A320 family aircraft models, and should not be confused with the standard landing gear that they're using today, because today's version is much worse. The landing gear we have on this aircraft model is not the best landing gear that Herpa has ever made, but it is much better than today's version, especially the front landing gear, although we even here of course also are still missing some printed details. But despite the better landing gear, the model is unfortunately not completely freed of Herpa's nonsense, because this model does have a hole in the fuselage for a stand which is not included, and as you can see does destroy a printed detail. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A321-200 in the standard livery of Air Berlin from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500, and what can we say about this aircraft model? Now, of course, more recent models from Herpa Wings have more printed details, but the print quality itself on this aircraft model is actually quite excellent. And also when it comes to the physical detailing, I would actually say that this aircraft model is in some ways superior to what we get from Herpa Wings nowadays. I mean, yes, of course, the cockpit shape might still not be perfect, but I would still say it's better than what we get from Herpa Wings today, and the landing gear for sure is much better than what Herpa produces today. So if this is an aircraft model that you might be interested in, there is good news for you. Herpa has actually made 4 aircraft models of this type in the Air Berlin livery. The first one was made back in 2009. This one was then produced in 2015, followed by a 2016 release with the special Air Düsseldorf livery, and then actually another aircraft in the standard livery also in 2016. So you are basically spoiled for choice here, but there won't be much difference in the amount of detailing from model to model. Still, it should mean that if you don't already have an A321 of Air Berlin in your collection and would like to change that, it should be relatively easy to find one. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, and of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.